All righty, I think we're on. All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Dee Trey Red, or you could call me Kat, either or. This is the podcast. My voice cracked. I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourselves, though.
I'm David Tinsley. I'm born and raised in Detroit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I work as an engineer. I'm also a filmmaker. Whenever my time permits, and happy to be on the show.
Alrighty.
And my name is Juan. They call me Don Juan. Used to call me Steady Clowning Juan. I've been all types of Juans. Pretty much I'm an entrepreneur. You know, I've been around the block, so I got a lot of different insight from different points of views. So I'm just ready and excited to see what we all talk about today.
Sweet. All right. So we got big Leo energy over here. And then we got some Pisces energy over here, okay? So we're ending Pisces season, or we've ended Pisces season. We're going into Aries season, which is actually the new year to me. It's the astrological new year. Did you guys know that?
No, why is that? I mean, is that the start? That's the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Aries season is the start. So it's like the astrological new year. And have you ever noticed like the months like October, November, December, that's like 8, 9, 10. Mm-hmm. So in the astrological calendar, that's like the 8th month, the 9th month, the 10th month, rather than the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Got you. Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, it was like switched back. Somebody came along and switched it back in the day, right?
Exactly.
Because like spring represents new life. So when the trees and the grass start to grow again and the new animals come out.
Dang.
So that's
the bugs come out.
The bugs
flowers bloom. You know, it's renewal season.
That's my first time ever learning that. So that's what's up. Yeah.
So think about the new year that we celebrate. Everything is literally dying. Like people literally start feeling like they're dying inside. I think I saw on the news once that like January 11th was voted as the most depressing day of the year. Literally 11 days from the actual new year. So it's really not a great time.
Is that just in Michigan? Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask. Is everywhere people feel like? Oh, Michigan. Okay.
You know, so for us, it's a time when everything is kind of like going away.
Right. It's almost like what it is pretty much the start of winter.
Yeah.
And in January, I think that's where the term dead winter come from, because everything is dead.
Everything is dead. So now everything rises anew. You know, if you're a Christian, the rising of, you know, your Savior. What was it? Easter.
Oh, okay. Easter,
you know
right. Yeah.
All of this is about
resurrection.
Rebirth.
I got you. So should I start doing my New Year's resolutions in March, or
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Or,
if you squandered those resolutions in January, start over now, because this is a better time anyway. The energy is just simply better.
That's what's up.
And just save January 1st for getting drunk.
Absolutely. Don't even do that. My old ass don't even do that anymore.
You don't? When the last time you've been drunk to the point to where you either passed out or threw up? You don't have to say it.
30th birthday.
30th? Serious?
Yes.
Okay.
That ain't my thing.
No. So you know your limit.
Yeah. And I don't like to be like that, because you know what happens when you drink? You lose a day. The next day after it is just gone. I can't function that day after being drunk. So I just don't like to do that, because I don't like to lose a day.
No,
to
that's
that.
What's up.
You know what I'm saying?
I think since I stopped eating meat, when I drink now, it's definitely harder to recover. So because you know that poison from the alcohol, which is what it is poison, and it just drains. It takes so much energy to recoup.
So the meat sort of absorbs it better, I guess. Is that what you're saying? Or?
Well, different things. When you put different things in your body, it actually takes away from. When you have different things in your body, it takes away from your system focusing on one thing.
I got you.
If it's alcohol in your body, it's going to break down alcohol first. But then you eat a hamburger, it's going to stop focusing on the alcohol to break down the hamburger.
Dang.
But then if you eat some French fries, it's going to stop the burger to break down the French fries. So it like goes in a cycle.
So although eating hamburgers and drinking is worse for you, if you just drinking, it's going to be harder to recover because your body isn't focused on multiple things at once.
Right.
I got you.
That's another reason for me not to go vegetarian.
Says no reason. But speaking of that poison, is it all right to have a sip on the show?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Oh yeah, I'm loving it already.
It is absolutely okay. So we can sip, we can buzz. I just don't get drunk.
Nah, this is where I feel like an absolute lame because I.
He doesn't drink at all.
Oh, that's great. That's a great thing.
That is a great thing, though. I definitely admire that. But I can go long periods without drinking.
Yeah.
Even working in a bar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which people think is impossible, but it's definitely possible for me because I really can't be peer pressured. Like way too old for that. So
I got
it's
you.
like, you gonna take a drink? Like, and yeah, no, I'm not.
See, my wife, she drinks enough for both of us.
Really?
So it's all good. It's all good.
I figure out the key for my own personal thing is I like to drink stuff that's on the higher end because it tend to have less impurities, based, different from, that old saying they used to say back in the day, it's all the same thing that everybody on the block learned from some drunk that was on the corner because he couldn't afford to drink certain things.
Okay.
So that's a fucking lie.
Okay.
That's a fucking lie.
Along with a ton of other things that people tell us.
Right.
Yeah. No, I just saw
Like
an
the anejo.
interview with LeBron James. Oh yeah, what is that?
This is Don Julio Nejo here.
Oh, okay. I saw an interview with LeBron James and they asked him like, hey, how does having a horrible season affect you? Do you carry it home? And he was like, nope. By the time I get home, I sip me a glass of wine. I leave everything on the court. I sip some tequila, this, that, and the third.
Did
and
he promote his tequila?
I think so. I think that's what he was doing.
Right.
But the thing is that it just proves that, anything in moderation, and especially if it's quality, it's okay. And that brother works hard enough on his body to where, yeah.
LeBron James has an incredible body. I just want to share that. He has an incredible body.
He's doing an outstanding
He's
job.
like a butter face to me, though. I'm not crazy about the face, but the body is.
He actually looked younger now than he did probably when he first got in the league. Maybe because money makes you look better. But he has one of them faces where he looked like he was about 35 when he first got in the league.
When he first came, he was like 17, literally.
Yeah, LeBron, he spends millions and millions on just his diet and workout.
Yeah.
And training. So
Blame him.
that's why he's been able to last. That's why he's been able to last so long, being in his 19th season. I don't know if y'all seen the highlights from yesterday. But that motherfucker jumped so high off the floor.
Crazy.
I had fucking chills going through my body.
It was like Miami all over again. Yeah. But that's the question, though, I would have is why don't other athletes, if they see that it's working for him, why don't they follow suit? But I guess it's that discipline. And that commitment, right?
Yeah,
and it's that wanting to be great and to like really solidify that. Like everybody isn't seen as a great, but LeBron is. Kobe was seen as a great. He was like that too. You know what I'm saying? They were serious about what they did. And so, they invested into that. Everybody else is just a sideline player, really.
That's real talk.
So.
Right. You definitely got to take time to put into your craft,
Yeah.
That discipline is everything.
Are you a vegan or vegetarian?
Shit, I don't know. I'm like somewhere in between. I try not to eat any animal products, but then I just get tired of looking at the fucking labels all the time.
Yeah.
So no fish either.
I stopped eating fish one time for a whole year, and everything went great. But a lady friend of mine just insisted, like, taste this seafood. I started back eating it, blew up, gained all this weight back.
Dang, from seafood?
From seafood. Dang. But seafood has a lot of cholesterol in it.
Oh.
Well, certain seafoods.
The fatty, whatever.
So if you don't mind me asking, how much weight have you lost since changing your diet?
Well, I stopped eating seafood again on December the 6th. And I was 238. Right now, I'm 214.
Dang.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding, man. That's it.
Yeah. I wish I had that kind of discipline.
I haven't eaten meat in about 5 or 6 years, though, like steaks and hamburgers, chicken. Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, like some of my friends are Muslim and the diet that they adhere to, you can tell, or it reflects. You can look at their skin. You can look at, how good a shape that they're in, how mentally sharp they are. So like I said, it takes a great level of discipline to be on that path. And again, it shows physically. So
yeah, they got this thing where everybody talks about the fat vegans, like people, they
eating French fries all day and stuff.
Eating a bunch of carbs all day.
That kind of irritates me.
Yeah, but you still got to exercise.
It irritates me that people say that because people think that veganism is all about vanity. Some people are vegans because they literally want to save animals.
That's true, too. So it's almost like not placing them in a box.
Exactly. So it's like, there's going to be fat vegans because everybody's not doing it to look good.
Right.
They have other reasons
Right.
that they're following this lifestyle.
Well, so what I would say counter to that is that I guess it makes it hard when people promote it as a healthy thing, then, right?
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Plant-based, vegan, it's all these
Yeah,
types of
just say that you want to save animals as opposed to, this is a healthier alternative to eating meat or something like that.
Yeah, you just don't want to, with these animals, everything is based around energy. So, when these animals go to these slaughterhouses and, they got emotions and feelings and that transfers into the flesh. And then once you eat the flesh, it transfers into your body.
My mama says that all the
No,
time.
people
Yeah.
say that and I'd be like, so a lot of people do like Mediterranean because, their meat is halal. And so they pray over it. They don't torture the animals. They say they basically put them down peacefully and pray over them and so that the animals themselves aren't stressed. Have you ever heard that?
It's my first time.
Yeah, it's my first time hearing that as well.
So that's why a lot of people do Mediterranean because of their practice as far as how they treat the animals before they.
So before they kill you, they give you a kiss on the forehead, then take your ass out.
And it's they soothe you down. It's like a I don't know.
They actually court you versus just
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Dang.
Either way,
Okay.
the animal dies.
Yeah, we had these
And we consume.
Oh,
See, the thing about that is we're not supposed to, well, my opinion, we're not supposed to have meat based on, we can't just pick the meat up and eat it as if it was a plant or an apple or something like that. We could just grab an apple and eat it. We can't eat meat. We got to kill it, clean it, season it, freeze it, cook it, put all that fucking what's that stuff they call it? Lemon pepper on it, and then we consume it. So that's when I was eating meat, I had a lot of bad heartburn, acid reflux.
yeah.
So once I stopped eating meat, I felt that all go away. So
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it works differently for different people. It's this one guy, her name it's actually a woman, Michaela Peterson. She had issues in her joints. So she got off of eating different sugars. She even stopped eating green vegetables, all sorts of stuff like that. And she went on a strictly meat diet. And for whatever reason, she felt better as a result of this. It was just meat, for however long. And I guess all of her issues that she was having with respect to her mobility, her joints, tightness, stiffness, this, that, and the third went away. And I'm like, how the hell did that happen? But it goes to show that there's something out there maybe for everybody, but there may be a certain diet that works for the bulk of society. It doesn't mean that it's going to be good for every single person in society because our makeup is different, and we have different issues and different genetics and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just weird that she was able to kind of cure herself off of an only meat diet. But she was quick.
What kind of meat did she eat?
And she was quick, and I think it was she ate. I can't remember. I don't even want to misspeak, but I can't remember. But the thing is that she didn't project it on anybody else.
Right. Okay.
Everybody else would say, "Oh, you think this will work for me?" She said, "No."
Right.
This ain't gonna work for you. I tried everything. I tried to go vegan. I tried
cholesterol.
Who knows, right?
Because it can't be good just eating meat.
That's
what they tell you,
Yeah.
but you just never know.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of information out here that you can truly trust.
Yeah, I don't feel like that would be good for me.
How
But yeah.
I feel, because I did go vegetarian before. It was 35 days, and I actually felt sick. I did not feel good at all. And then I was researching it, and especially being a woman. So one thing that's in meat and dairy and things like that is hormone, right? And so when you're a woman and you're hormonal and you take all these hormones away, all of a sudden you can have some kind of imbalance. Because I was really depressed too. It was just I did not feel good at all. I didn't feel good mentally. I didn't feel good physically. It was okay, I need some chicken now. Somebody bring me a chicken sandwich right now. And when I talked to a young lady who I know that is vegan, she was telling me how sometimes you have to, transition into it slowly, maybe do this first and this and that. And I was just
oh, you probably was going through your withdrawal period, probably,
I guess.
right?
I don't know what it was, but it did not feel good. And I was like, okay, I quit.
Yeah, it's definitely a withdrawal period,
Sweet and sour chicken meat, please.
But you gotta, I think it is with me is I psych myself out. When I look at the cow, when I look at the milk, I say, the cow pus, I look at ham, I say a pig's ass.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
eggs. I mean, chicken fetus.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
eat pork, so you can say the pig's ass.
Pig's ass, chicken fetus when you eat eggs. And then you swallow it, mixing it all up with the pancakes and with nothing but a chemical mix. And then, you know, you just.
So you just make it sound nasty.
Oh, yeah, in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, some people do feel like it's all the same, and then there's others who say, "Oh, well, the pig is the absolute worst. I'll never eat a pig." And I guess I don't really understand. I'm it's the filthiest animal, I guess, out of all of them. But yeah, I guess the question is one meat worse than the other? It's all bad, right? I mean, to people who are against it. Yeah,
I think pork is the real bad one.
Yeah, because a pig, it'll eat anything. You know what I'm saying? From if human parts to shit, they'll eat it.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
the
Now
pig
we
is-
switched. I was eating. I used to eat bacon, obviously, and we switched. My boy Donald Avington put me on beef bacon, and it really don't taste that much different. First time trying it, man.
Greasy. Is it greasy?
I mean, yeah, it's a little greasy.
Nothing.
So also even with the new thing they got, you know, out now the Beyond like burgers and the plant-based meat.
All that stuff is full of soy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A
Soy
lot.
bad for men, especially.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
like estrogen or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might explain why I'm so calm now. But anyway, with the plant-based meat, it's actually a lot of chemicals in that as well. So you got to kind of watch what you're consuming when you think you're eating healthy, and they got so many chemicals inside of them.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I just stick to what I know, like McDonald's, Burger King. You know, like, I know this stuff, and you know.
I've been eating a lot of mushrooms
Okay.
and substitute meat.
I'm just kidding. I don't eat McDonald's.
Nah, I knew you would.
I'm
'Cause
more
you know,
of a Wendy's type chick. You know,
was-
Wendy's is like, you know, here, and then it's like Chick-fil-A, and
Yeah.
then it's like, you know, everything else. Anyways, what y'all think about these gas prices?
Well, I always been I'm so used to pumping premium for so long.
Yeah.
I just roll with the flow. I mean, I don't know.
What about you?
I mean, I'm more in line with what this gentleman just said, but I would much rather pay cheaper prices. I definitely feel it more, and I do think that it could have been avoidable. It could have been avoided. I guess it was avoidable.
Right.
There were some gentlemen in Florida, I believe, that rigged some gas.
Oh yeah, I
They
saw you posted
rigged some
that.
gas tanks and made it so that the gas cost pennies. They got caught and they've been, you know, jailed. And, you know, I feel like we should all put money on their books.
Those
So-
American heroes right there.
Oh yeah, we got to start a
They can get
GoFundMe.
out.
Now that's a real reason to start a
That's
GoFundMe.
Straight
the real
up.
reason
Straight
to start
up.
a GoFundMe, because what?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't pay attention to. Okay, I'm really bad with like watching the news and like really staying current on these things. It's really the internet that keeps me up to date on most things. But when I filled up my gas tank the other day, I'm like, it just kept going. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
it just keep going. And then I look like 409. What the hell?
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
you know, this is going on. You're hearing a lot about climate change. It seems as if they're trying to push people more towards, I guess, cleaner energy, a cleaner way of doing things. They ain't gonna push me though. I like my gas ran vehicle. I'm not.
What about the getting rid of like the fallback, right? They're saying we're not gonna set our clocks back. They're trying to vote on a bill to not do that, right?
Yeah, I seen that.
I think I'm all right with that though.
But isn't that weird? Like,
It is.
You know, I look at it two ways because, you know, based on the season, you know, naturally the day naturally gets longer and shorter based on the time of the year because, you know, the sun is at different levels of the sky at different times. I like the feeling in the springtime when the clock is set. What is set forward? Or
yeah, for it.
set forward. You know, it just gives me like the feeling now, that new feeling like it's springtime. You know, the sun about to be out. We about to have fun, enjoy outside. You know, so I kind of like it for that aspect, but I don't know the scientific reason why they wanted to send it back.
Exactly.
It's almost same reason why gas prices are high. Same reason why they're trying to push people to, you know, to
Did
get.
you guys actually hear Joe Biden say "New World Order"? I saw people sharing a video of him, and he was talking about, you know, the things going on, and he said it's time for a new world order. He actually said those words. You
Yeah,
know,
he
that's
said-
something
Yeah.
that we've heard people talk about.
Yeah, I
for years,
saw that video.
NWO stuff like that. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
What did you think about that?
I mean, I think I really don't get into conspiracy too much. I will say, no, I don't. I mean, because I do think that there's a push for like one global government, if you will.
Okay.
So I'll just call it that. And we can already see that with respect to NATO and also them doing their due diligence to recruit all of these European territories over the years and even doing what's necessary to put their people in position to be leaders of these countries like Ukraine, right? I think back in 2014, there was talks of them being a part of some coup where they overthrew whoever the leader was at that time. He was more of a neutralist, I think. And America had some involvement in overthrowing that person and putting their person in position, which was more of a Democrat, a liberal. So, again, you don't have to necessarily take over a territory in order for it to be a part of what you got going. You can just influence it from afar, and that's kind of what we've been doing.
My thing with Joe Biden, you already know how I feel about Joe Biden. I can't stand Joe Biden, period.
Me either, man. Me either.
I don't know how anybody in their right mind.
I got the right in full effect here. The right is in full effect. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I don't know about anybody in their right mind can just look at this man speak and say, this is a guy we want to go with.
Absolutely.
And today I was looking, and they said he has his approval rating has dropped once again. Like
Again?
It's one of the lowest ever.
Shoot.
I'm trying to figure out, how did the man who got the most votes in history have the lowest approval rating in history?
Something ain't adding up.
It ain't adding up. So, with this whole gas thing, gas prices, I got a partner, and he has his own gas tanks and stuff, and it's not that the gas price is necessarily as high as it that they're selling it for, because he's getting gas still at $2.80. So
Yeah.
they're just taking advantage of the times of the fear. They're taking advantage of the fear.
I feel like the gas is cheaper. Like I ran out of my gas quicker this time than I did last time. Like, is this some cheaper gas?
Yeah.
It costs more and it's cheaper.
It's the fear. I mean, they moved right from COVID to the war conveniently, right?
Right.
Anybody keeping up with COVID and COVID numbers or any of that?
No, I've been gave up on that shit.
I mean, yeah, I've been gave up on it too when I start seeing the writings on the wall. But when you look at all of the people who were so strict on it, now all of a sudden you got midterms coming up in November.
They releasing those restrictions left and right.
Yep.
I think
Mandates out the damn window.
Yeah.
I think the whole purpose of COVID was because they tried everything in their power to find something on Trump, and they couldn't get him out of there. They couldn't impeach him. They couldn't do anything to get him out of there. So they had to figure out a way to be able to.
They were like, release the C-19.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Find a way to make it so bad.
The C-19.
Hell yeah. They want to make it so damn bad that people wouldn't leave the house, and then now they could take advantage.
That is literally what lost the election for Trump was COVID.
Yeah. And it came conveniently too. Yeah. So when you talk
too conveniently, almost, when you think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
wow.
And they took advantage of the whole mail-in voting thing, because you couldn't really track who was putting these votes in. I mean, now you got a place that had a low demographic of voting. Now these all of a sudden are the highest voters. My conspiracy theory is, who voted for these people?
Yeah.
They never voted before.
Did any of you vote for Kanye?
No.
I'm just kidding.
But see,
I love Kanye.
I like Kanye too. And
my God. We're going to get canceled before we get started. We love Kanye.
We got to talk about, and I hope you got that on the list. Yeah.
I'm so off script right now. It's not even serious, but it's all good.
But back to what you were saying about the whole votes, that's the reason why. So COVID happened. All of a sudden, people can't leave their homes. And that's the reason why people were able to do all the mail-in ballots and stuff like that. Everything happened coincidentally. And when you think about where the virus supposedly came from, which was China, well, China, or Trump, was the first American president in years to stand up against China.
Yeah.
So it actually works in their best interest for something to happen that would sort of disrupt what was going on here politically, because Biden is obviously viewed as a weaker adversary than Trump is. So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, Trump initiated them trade wars. So he was putting a lot of tax on people who was doing business in China, instead of doing business in the United States. So the tax was so high on certain things that they it was almost, you didn't even want to buy anything from across the way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the shipping cost was high. It was a real clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think what happens here is that we don't live in a climate or amongst people who value that or to know to value that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you say it, it's like, that's like real shit. Like, because you know that China is, what they're coming to be.
Yeah.
So when you have a president that stands up for that, that actually was like,
oh yeah,
some real.
Trump was taxing people, man. We became an exporter again under him. So
we don't know because we're not, educated politically. We don't know to value that.
Well,
we don't know that was a good thing.
Right.
You can tell a group of people that he did that, and they'd be like, well, "What about my bridge card?" Or I don't know, whatever thing that
You won't know
important to them.
If you're distracted by racism, if you're distracted by all this LGBT stuff and so on and so forth, COVID, then you won't really be able to see the forest through the trees. So that's all a part of the plan to keep people divided and distracted.
Trump was like the Boosie of white people.
Well, Trump a Gemini,
Kanye, yep.
Kanye a Gemini, Tupac was a Gemini, you know what I mean? So those Geminis, they've been known to cause some ruckus for real.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
For sure. They'll keep. So, since we talking about Gemini, because astrology is my favorite subject. Anyways, so fuck, marry, or block zodiac edition. You got to pick 3 different ones. I didn't put kill because I don't like kill. We're not killing nobody.
Okay. Fuck, married, or block. Okay.
3 different signs.
Fuck. I'll let you start this one. Bam.
So fuck, let's go with Virgo. Married, let's go with Sagittarius. Block, let's go with I'm gonna go with a Leo.
Damn!
Oh.
He gonna block me?
Yeah. Hey, I hear them Leos can be real tough from the woman's perspective,
Whatever.
I heard
some Leo.
that word on the street.
Men. It's some Leo men. I'm trying to tell you.
Shit, this is a tough one. You say fuck. I go fuck, marry, or shoot
or block.
Oh, block.
It really is kill, but I don't like kill.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, kill.
Yeah.
Damn. Fuck. Damn. Whew. I think of Aries. I like fucking Aries. but then I like fucking Geminis
Aries
too.
and Leo have good chemistry for sure. Yeah. Fire and fire.
Mary, Cancer.
Ooh.
I like Cancers because they're
sweet.
They're nice.
Yeah.
So they're really nice and they can it's like balance me out in a sense. You know what I mean?
They're a little bit too passive aggressive for me, but I understand.
Yeah. Yeah,
very
from
lovable.
Yeah, from a man's perspective to a female Cancer, they are passive aggressive, but to everybody else. They ride for who they ride for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill, or I'm sorry, not kill. We ain't killing people.
Block.
I think I would go Scorpio.
Block.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Black Scorpio.
I can't do damn Scorpio. I mean, they be cool in the bedroom, but outside of the bedroom, I guess because I'm a fire sign, and I think they just go out their way to try to put my flame out.
Yeah,
that is so true. But I feel like that about Cancers.
Yeah,
more than Scorpios.
Well, it seems like with me, a Cancer will calm you down. But they like rub your head and we can calm you down. The Scorpio, they just fucking take the water. And oh, you think you all that motherfucker?
Right, exactly.
I ain't having that.
I feel like Cancer will do that, but then rub your head. I don't like that.
Well, I mean, if they got if they got some tact with it, I mean.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
So, fuck Aquarius. Marry probably Taurus. Or Cancer. Isn't that strange? I just gave them all the shit. Taurus or Cancer. Yeah. Block Aries.
Why? Why would you block an Aries?
Too much history, probably.
No. Well, I do have bad history with Aries. they stalk me. But yeah, that's it. They stalk me. So yeah, twice.
Them fucking
two different ones.
Them fucking Aries fucked up my life.
They are like, it's Aries season, so they're bringing forth good energy. You know what I'm saying? When you think Aries, you think Mars. They're ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is the action planet. You cannot take ambition and action from an Aries. Like they are they are go-getters. Like they gonna go get it. When you think Aries, you think a ram. They're represented by a ram. They're hard-headed. They're headstrong. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell an Aries shit.
I think they like the god of war or something like that.
And when you think war, so Mars, Ram, war. They will protect you, and they will go hard for you, and they will go hard against you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you piss off an Aries, like, they want war. Like, they don't want to just separate. They want fucking war with you. And, like, yeah.
I got to get my astrology game up. Y'all over here killing it.
Them damn Aries, man.
Yeah.
But sexually, that same energy they use to... They'll ride for you at first.
Yeah.
But that same energy they use to ride for you, you know what I'm saying? They take that in the bedroom and they go
They will
knock
kill
your sock.
for you, and they will kill you.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
But once they...
That's what you got to know.
See, but you can't. That's why I thought your question. I'm sorry. What you about to say?
No, I'm saying, but once they get through with you, they going
done.
for the kill.
Oh, they going for the kill, like busting your
That's what I'm
windows
saying.
and stuff like that.
They are ready for war.
Yeah.
They are definitely ready for war. You don't want to be on their bad side. They will try to destroy you.
See, that's why I thought your question was good. You said marry F block because you can't have all three. That's what makes life. That's what makes dating so hard, and you got to choose one.
Right.
You might be able to get a couple in one person, but you ain't gonna never be able to get everything you want. And it often comes down to you having to choose. Okay, like say in your situation, the guy might lay the pipe, you know what I'm saying? But again, he might present some other things outside of the bedroom where you can't trust him and so on and so forth. So it's hard to have all three.
Right.
He is not made of husband material.
Yeah. I had this little short stint.
Streets.
Yeah, I had this short stint where I wasn't working. I moved back to from California to Michigan in 2018. I was working at this company. They was working me like 60, 70 hours a week. And my wife didn't sign up for that because she's a dentist. And I could just see the effect that it was having on the household. So I left. And I was like, you know what? She's about to go back to work because she had stayed home for about 9 months with our daughter. And she was getting ready to go back. We had extremely low expenses coming from California to here. So we had the luxury of being able to just say, all right, well, you do it. I'll stay at home and hold down the kids and everything else. I only stayed home for about 8 months or something like that. But I can remember my wife saying like, damn, the sex was better than ever when you was home for 8 months because I wasn't working like that. I didn't have the stress of the job. So that's the thing. Women want this dude who gonna make a lot of money, gonna be a provider, this, that, and the third. And you also want him to be laying pipe every single night. He's stressed. He got stuff on his mind. So sometimes it's hard to get both.
It goes both ways for women.
Same thing. Same thing.
Because, women get a lot of slack for that, not having the proper drive, for the man. But women be doing a lot of shit, working 9 to 5s, got a side hustle. You know what I'm saying? But doing taxes, waxing. Whatever she doing.
But women also, they steer away from things like polygamy.
Oh,
real talk.
They stay away from polygamy. What you call it? I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know if I pronounce it right.
You said it right. You
okay, you making fun of me.
But you say polygadies?
Polygadies.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But can one woman handle all the responsibility that needs to be handled, or vice versa?
Yeah.
Can one man, like he was just saying, when he was off work, he had all the time to put into the love making and the nurturing, but when he's working, you can't do both.
Now I will say this.
I'm saying a woman is the same.
A woman is the same.
We all have to find balance.
See, but I like what this gentleman is saying right here because he said that
every nigga likes polygamy.
Well,
you said what you say? Say it again.
I said every nigga likes polygamy.
Nah,
I mean, gonna find a man on this earth that's gonna be like, oh no.
No. It's not that I like it, but the reason why it happens way less as far as women, the reason why most often when you have a polygamous situation is multiple women and one male is because that man is comfortable with being able to take care of the household, provide, you know. And again, it's not all men. Some men don't even make enough to take care of one woman, let alone multiple. So it's a special kind of guy. But again, with a woman, she naturally doesn't want to necessarily take on those sorts of things. And you ain't going to get two men who just going to be like, all right, you know, you can share us. You get what I'm trying to say? Because what is that woman bringing to the table that's going to make that feasible? See, women go after men because of their ability to provide and protect.
I could have two husbands.
Yeah, but we ain't gonna go for that because we not with you for what you can provide. We with you for, you know, the soft side, your ability to be able to curate a household so that when we come home from a hard days of work, that's our place of peace. So that's the reason why it's a difference, I think.
Being feminine. You know, I mean, yeah, you can have two husbands, but it really doesn't make sense, right? Because we have the ability to actually get women, maybe 5 or 6 women pregnant a day if we wanted to, right? Which after a 30-day cycle, we can create after 9 months, we can actually create 150 babies a day. So we're building. Polygamy is not about the sex; it's about building the village. So right now we are.
That's a biological perspective. No, I'm just saying. Yeah.
These niggas ain't thinking about no community, no village, or nothing like that. They thinking about some extra ass.
Also, think about how territorial men are too. If you get if you get 4 or 5 men in a household and it's one woman, hell, you saw what happened on what's them shows back in the day, like The Flavor of Love. They'd be ready to kill each other.
Yeah, and also even outside of that,
the women were too, though.
But they ain't gonna kill each other.
But what they just said in the religion sense, be fruitful and be fruitful and be married
and multiply.
Multiply, yeah.
Yeah.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
How can 5 guys with one woman, once you get pregnant once, be fruitful and multiply? It doesn't even make sense. But I can have 10 women at this table.
Make some money. That's how they can be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
In a sense, in a sense,
can fucking do. Go work.
Work. but
go bring some money home.
Okay, but in a sense, we are already the minority. I don't think this whole monogamy thing was meant for black dudes.
Whatever.
Oh, wait, hold on. Well, it's not that I agree with him, but I want to see where he's going. Hey, everybody out there, Juan, that's his views. I'm in a monogamous relationship with my wife, but I actually think the brother is dropping some gems. So I want to hear what he got to say about that.
I'm just saying. I mean, it doesn't. I don't think it was never our view.
Let me ask you something. let me ask you something. Yep. Are you in a monogamous relationship right now?
Am I in a monogamous relationship? Of course I am.
Okay.
Oh, so he can separate his views from his.
Of course I am until I don't want to be.
Who? What does that mean?
Of course I am until I don't want to be.
Okay, that's anybody though. Okay. He's in a marriage unless he didn't want to be. Like I could be in until I don't want to be. So that's what
I am until I don't want to be.
So no, now I got a question for Juan. So what would stop you, or what would make you come to the decision of saying I don't want to be this anymore?
It has to be. It has to be a situation that I feel is better and more, just better than what I already have. If
so, you feeling like the grass is greener?
Not necessarily the grass is greener, but as far as energy wise, it will have to. It just have to be something that's better than I already got. So a guy like me,
to cheat.
No, I don't believe in cheating.
You have to.
So he's saying he would exit.
I'm
not saying I exit anything, but what I'm saying is I don't believe in cheating is a thing. What the fuck is cheating?
Motherfucker, you know what cheating.
I understand. I understand.
I ain't about to sit up here and
I understand what they told us cheating was.
It ain't about what somebody told you, okay? So this is what cheating is, and this is what everyone wants it to be. If you make a commitment with a person and you break it, you cheated.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you this, Detroit Red. There was a clip of Will Smith and Gail, and she said something to him. She was like, yeah, you and Jada have been able to last so long after, stints of infidelity and blah, blah, blah. And he said, hey, there was no infidelity.
Right.
Every time anything happened, we talk to each other.
Right.
Exactly.
So not everybody classifies that as cheating if there's honesty.
But
if honesty is prioritized.
It still goes into what I'm saying because that's their commitment. That's their commitment level. Their commitment level is we can do these things as long as we talk about it.
Well, no, they probably started out on the path of monogamy. And then along the way,
No, Will said that Jada never wanted a traditional marriage from the beginning. So I don't think they started off
Shout out to
with
Jada.
monogamy. I think they started off with, because even in the beginning of their marriage, they would talk about expressing their like for other people. They would just, talk about being really expressive about those things. But to me, like, cheating is so basic. It's like, if you make a commitment to a person, if we sit down and we say, like, we're together, we're only seeing each other, we're doing this, and you break that, you cheated. That's it. I think it's whatever you
whatever agreement you come up with,
and then you break it, then you're cheating.
I think the act of sleeping with somebody else, or I think the lie is actually worse than the act of sleeping with somebody else. If that makes sense.
Bad to me.
I don't, because the lie comes first. But if like Juan, he could be in a relationship and he letting her know, like, hey, you slipping, blah, blah, blah. I'm going over, or you know what I'm saying? If he's honest and transparent about that, then I think that's actually better than the alternative of cheating when the lie comes first. You get what I'm trying to say? There's a difference. Some people are just like, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm out here doing this because you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. You ain't holding up to your end of the bargain. So why am I? I don't know. I mean, I guess Juan can explain it more.
I would say to discuss that first, to be like, hey, listen, you're not holding up this part of the bargain.
Right.
I'm going to cheat.
I think in the beginning, like
in this situation,
in the beginning of most,
have that discussion.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I need sex more than what you're giving me.
Right.
So either you're going to give me more of the sex,
right,
or I'm going to go get it elsewhere.
Yeah. It's like, but that sounds like an ultimatum too.
That's what I'm going to say.
I don't like those.
It's not an ultimatum.
That's what I was about to say.
Because it's not saying I'm going to leave you. It's saying I don't want to leave you, but I need some more ass.
I don't.
And you're not giving it up.
I don't think it's necessary.
So
I need to go. So I need to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And so. Either you're going to rise to this challenge or this is what's going to happen because this is where I'm at with it.
I don't think that it's necessarily about just the sex part.
When people cheat?
You have different energies. People have different energies. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
The different levels. You can have a conversation with somebody and they make you make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And then, your energy gets hot, their energy gets hot, and then now it gets physical. No, it can be that. It's different levels to it.
But what would bother you more? Is it going to bother you more if your girl just having good chemistry and conversation, or is it going to bother you more that she slept with somebody?
It's going to bother me if she couldn't have a conversation with me beforehand.
I never leave my girl for
But
cheating.
what I'm saying is, what's going to bother you more, the physical act or the emotional act?
They all will bother me, but
which would bother you more?
I don't
emotional for me.
Yeah.
So you're more bothered if your woman has an emotional connection with a man that she doesn't sleep with, and if she just goes and has sex?
Because it's hard to repair that. When you sleep with somebody, it don't necessarily mean you have to be emotionally connected to them. She could have been doing that just to get back.
This is so interesting to me to hear two men say this.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm going to jot this down.
Yeah, write it down.
Here's
Take
what
a
I'm
picture
gonna
of
say.
it.
Because
Just go fuck when you're married. Don't go get an attachment. Don't go get a connection.
don't. A man is like,
Right?
it's
That's what y'all
territorial.
saying. What y'all saying is don't get a connection. Go just get
listen.
some dick.
Well, I'm
If you-
about to break it down right
Okay.
now. I want you to write this down.
Men are territorial, right? So a lot of the times, what happens is we know once when she steps out, her loyalty starts to belong to the other guy. So that's why guys' feelings get so hurt, and like we be so fucked up behind it, because it's not about the actual physical act. Because you got to think about it. Most of the times when you meet a woman, she's in between dicks anyway.
That's real talk. A good woman, especially.
Yeah. So she's in between dicks anyway. So we're naturally used to sharing in a sense. Y'all think we can't share? Yeah, we share all the time.
We do share all
because
the time. We
because
literally share all the time.
because a lot of guys fall out for fucking another nigga's bitch, right? So we already share. We can share. The only time we become territorial is when y'all start putting the ultimatums down and okay, wanting us to do this, pay the bills, but he ain't got to pay no bills. I can't. Nah, fuck that. If this motherfucker ain't paying no bills, I ain't paying no bills over here. But or if I am paying bills over here, nah, you gotta cut that one off. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This becomes my territory.
And not only that, you become compromised because this other dude know where I live. Ain't no telling what type of shit you telling him. And men, again, are very territorial, so we react differently. And I think the consequences are way higher in that situation as opposed to like two women you know, like I guess a man cheating on his wife and now this other woman is at odds with her, like the chances of them killing each other or trying to hurt each other is way lower than what would happen between two guys, right? Because once you know, it's almost like I feel like it's my house, so you know where I live. I feel, you know, and that's my job to protect my house. And I don't know what she telling you. I don't know how much you trying to, what you willing to go through.
There's that emotional connection.
Yeah, that you could be willing to go to whatever lengths to make her yours, even if it means, you know,
taking my ass out.
Yeah,
robbing me.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know, I can't stand his ass. Blah blah blah. Because she getting dicked down by him now. Yeah, and it's so good to her. She done forgot about the old dick. So I can't stand his ass.
She done lost all logic. So she's telling them all sorts of stuff.
He got a safe
pillow talk.
He got a safe. We can go in there and blah blah blah. We can live happily ever after. That's what I'm thinking in my mind.
Detroit. How many times have we heard of that happening? Yeah. No, I mean it's real talk. So for me,
suddenly got so dark.
For me personally, my reason I'm in a monogamous relationship, but my reason for not cheating has nothing to do with my wife.
Right.
And people always ask me that, and I'm like, my reason is internal to who I am. It ain't external, because I could be like, oh, well, I don't cheat on her because I don't want to hurt her.
Right.
But then what happens in a marriage when she finally does some shit that pisses me off and I don't feel like she's deserving of my loyalty? I'm going to run to the next woman. Right. So the reason has to be because I don't want to do it, because it's disrespectful to me.
That's fine.
So no matter what happens in the future, I'm not going to be bitter or resentful or felt like I wasted my years or I missed out on some good pussy. I won't feel like that, because my reason was internal to me. And that's what helps me. That's a more sustainable approach than saying, oh, I ain't doing this because of some shit external to me.
Right.
Like my wife not being upset or not being hurt, that's incidental. But the core reason is within me.
Right.
You know.
And that's nothing wrong with that.
You just don't meet men with them type of values.
Well, I think it comes with experience over time, you know. Me personally, I just don't like to follow no rules that's been set up by whoever set this shit up, because everything it seems like it's in reverse or backwards or something. It's not right. You know?
And that's like rebellion to me, and I feel that in a sense, but I'm not like a super rebellious person, and especially when something makes sense to me. Like to me, commitment makes sense. To me, building a family makes sense. To me, having a legacy makes sense. To me, having a strong commitment to someone makes sense. So I'm not going to rebel against that, because that makes sense, because I can see the value in it.
Right.
I will rebel against things that do not make sense, like the bullshit that we're seeing today in our political sphere and everything else that we're seeing. I'm going to rebel against that, but I'm not going to rebel against shit that makes sense and feels good. You know what I'm saying?
That you can see the utility in.
Exactly.
I feel like that you die alone. So I just want to live my life based on my decisions. Now,
not based on somebody else.
Not based on somebody to some type of societal standard. Or
if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. I don't care what agreement, what I'm going to do it,
and it's going to be your choice.
It's going to be my choice, and everybody knows I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
No matter who I'm in a relationship with, they know if I want to do something, I'm going to do it.
I respect that.
Believe in soulmates.
Yeah, I believe in energy. Yeah, so same thing. Yeah, to me.
Do you believe it?
I told you I do, but I don't believe it always has to come in the form of something romantic. I got some women that I talk to about, friends of mine that I talk to about stuff that I don't necessarily talk to my wife about. My wife ain't all interested in filmmaking and astrology and things like that. That's less time you got to be talking my ear off and shit. So yeah.
You know, another thing about relationships.
I want to be like Bridget when I grow up.
Yeah.
You said what?
I said I want to be like Bridget when I grow up.
Yeah, my wife don't give a fuck.
I'm not like that at all. Yeah. I'd be like, who is that?
I be talking to people on the phone, FaceTime, and they be like, hey, Bridget. She always been secure like that.
Yeah. I want to be like that.
But that's signs of a good man, though. So, because she has that security. Yeah. She has that security.
You guys got a good foundation.
Yeah, and she knows who you are in the core.
Yeah.
No matter whatever you went out, and if you decided to do anything, it don't have to be cheating, but if you was gambling or anything, she knows that your head is on your shoulders and you're going to make the best decisions.
Yeah. But I like what you said about if you do, it's going to be your choice. It ain't going to be nothing that because niggas be hiding behind shit. They'll be like, oh, well, I did this because of this, that. No, I did it because I wanted to.
Yeah, I did it because I wanted to do it.
Not necessarily giving you an ultimatum and saying, oh, because you didn't do this, maybe you can figure that out on your own, but I'm not going to hide behind that. I'm going to just say, I'm going to own up to my shit.
So this is my new theory about soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to you about this briefly the other day. So do you guys believe in reincarnation? Do you believe that this is your first time? This is your first time in life, or
You getting deep?
I believe in
been
different
here
dimensions.
before? All right. So I believe that we live different lives. I think that, we've probably all been here because I don't believe in death. Like death just seems so absurd to me. I feel like because your energy can't die. What do they say? Energy can't be created or destroyed or whatever. Transfer or whatever. It just transforms or whatever. So, so my theory about soulmates is that your soulmate is your first love from your first life, or your first friend from your first life.
Okay.
And like you're always searching for that person in every other life.
Okay.
So it's like when you first incarnate,
right,
you get this love, and it's a great love, and then you die,
right,
and you spend your life looking for this love over and over again.
See,
that's my new theory.
I think that's a really good
and
theory.
It's even in friendship too, because it could just be a friend. It could just be, you know what I'm saying? So
no, that's a really good theory, but I guess I want to unpack it a little bit and speak about the downside to thinking that way. So even if it is true, if I'm thinking in my mind, man, I met my first love in a previous life, and I'm searching for that until I find it, then I become a bit more closed-minded or narrow-minded, if you will. And
I don't think you should become closed-minded or narrow-minded.
You could. I'm not saying that everybody who thinks that way will, but you could run the risk of, it's like, well, life doesn't become as much of a unpredictable adventure anymore. And it's hard
to know where the theory of a soulmate comes from?
No.
Have you ever heard the theory of a soulmate? So it was like when we were born. So they used to say that when we were born, we had 4 arms and 4 legs.
Okay.
And then one of the gods was, jealous, and he separated us and made us into 2 people. And so your soulmate is that other half of you,
like a Siamese twin.
Searching for.
Yeah.
So that's where that theory comes from.
That's the first time I'm hearing this.
Oh, you up here doing your research?
Yeah.
What you been reading? This you've been doing?
Be bored.
Dang.
I be reading random shit.
That's what's up.
So yeah, we were 4 arms, 4 legs, separated, and then you're looking for the other person. To me, that sounds crazy, but. So I like my theory better, but that's the leading theory.
My feelings about the reincarnation thing, I believe depending on our energy, you got positive people, negative people, and they're naturally, upbeat, and then people who just in a sunken place. I believe that everything is reincarnated. It's like in a circle, right? So you got the heavens above, you got the the theory of hell at the bottom, and depending on what level that you get from your past life, decide if you're going back up or you're going down, right? But eventually, you go in this circle. You eventually always go around the complete circle. So yes, you've been here. But you get to the heavens. But then once you get back up, you come back down, and you get all the way to hell, and then you come back up out of hell, based on your experience and what you learned over time. Yeah, so it's like different dimensions.
You know what else makes me believe in reincarnation is the fact that some people are clairvoyant. So I feel like people that are clairvoyant, that are psychic, that can see futures, I think they can see futures because they've seen them already. Because they lived different lives, so they've seen things.
But it could go back. I agree with you, or I think that's a good theory. But it can also go back to what Juan's saying in terms of they're just able to tap into different dimensions, maybe, right?
Right. Different dimensions.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to think about this crazy.
Nah, I mean it's not crazy. It's not crazy to me now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But in the past,
because I used to always think I think I was a man in my past life, and this is like my karma. This life I live now, these experiences I have with me.
So why you feel like that?
Yeah, we putting you on spot here, Detroit Red. Why do you feel like you were a man in your past life?
Because I think I was a man, and I think I wasn't shit. And so now I have to deal with men who were like
but
me.
Ain't shit niggas, right?
No, I don't think that's what it is. I think that.
Let me have my theory and go.
Okay. If that's what you want.
My theory absolves me of all accountability. So please.
I want to hear Juan's take on this, though. I want to hear this.
She used the word correctly, accountability. I think that a lot of people, men and women, hate accountability. So
I like this guy. Where do you get this guy from?
I fucked him out of duo. I was like, come on.
Yeah, I'll be over there drinking by myself.
You know how hard it is to find black people who, in today's society, who speak accountability first. It's always pointing the finger outward at something. And it's like, man, it's a million things you could be trying to figure out within yourself to change to help your situation. So I like that.
Right. Yep. So with accountability, it's not necessarily you. It's like your subconscious was programmed to be a certain way.
Indoctrination.
Okay. Yeah. I know the word. I can't even say it properly. But I know what it means. I know what it is. I know what it means. We are programmed to be a certain way. So the way that you are, if you feel like you're a certain type of way, it was passed down to you from the previous, your previous generation. Of through your DNA,
or that man was.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think it's necessarily was a man. What it is
I was pimping the hoes. I'm sure of it.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily was a guy. I just think that when that feminist movement hit, it made women so more masculine. You know, the education and that feminist movement. So women became a little bit more masculine. That's why nowadays the men are more feminine because with that yin yang, with the universe, it's going to be a balance one way or another.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
See, and I like what he's saying because he's not just blaming everything on women. Right. He's saying that as a result of the feminist movement, women became more independent.
Right.
Which kind of contributed to women being more masculine. And if that happens, a man is going to feel like, well, what the hell am I needed for?
Right.
And he becomes more feminine because that balance has to be maintained.
It's got to be maintained.
That's where we are today.
Either way.
That is definitely
Juan, that's deep, man.
Fact.
Yeah, that's deep.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
And that was really like one of the topics I wanted to talk about today. Have you guys ever heard of the term divesting?
Yes.
Okay. Have you heard of Black women divesting?
Well, first tell the audience, what does that mean?
Yes, because I don't know.
It's like to separate, right?
Okay. It's the opposite of invest.
Exactly. So
okay.
You're like separating. So Black women divesting. So I went to some sites because I had not heard this term, but I made a post one day and a young lady came on the post and she said, like, if Black women are supposed to be divesting, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, what's she talking about? Black women divesting. I don't know about this. I'm Black. I ain't divesting yet. So, you know, I started to research this, and what I found out is that there's like two different takes on it. So there's the Black woman's take on it is that Black women are basically, I'm going to read what I wrote. So it means that it's particularly American Black women, and it's Black women only. Listen, not biracial, you know, none of that. Black women only. We're putting our needs first. If it doesn't uplift, support, or honor the image of Black women, you divest from it.
She's gone.
Full support from TV, movies, actors, podcasts, social media, men, women, or children that disparage the image of Black women or girls in any way. Okay? That's what it says. Also includes activism that doesn't center Black women's issues. And so one thing I noticed is that a lot of men take this divest movement and they feel like it's a movement away from Black men, which is hilarious to me in a sense, because it's like women are saying we're divesting from people that don't treat us right, and men are like, they're divesting from Black men. Like, how are you this hit dog being hollering like that about that, right? If we say we're divesting away from men who don't treat us right, and then you automatically assume that we're saying we're separating ourselves from Black men. What does that say?
I would say more importantly, not divesting away from Black men, but divesting away from your purpose, away from your true nature. So if a woman was taught to prioritize education, if she was taught to prioritize her career, hanging out with her girls, traveling, and then all of a sudden think that she's going to be able to get the same man at the age of 38 that she would have been able to get at 22, then she's delusional. So you're actually divesting away from your purpose, because a woman's purpose, the main purpose, is family. It's to be able to nurture. It's to be able to have kids. I'm not saying that everything else isn't important. I'm not saying that everything else isn't important.
Why do you think that you can say that, though?
Well, because name me one thing that's going to sustain a woman from the time she's, I don't know, 10 years old all the way up until the point where she's like 80. What's not 10, because she can start having kids at 14, 18, all the way up to like 80. What's going to sustain a woman? It's not going to be her job. Most of the women I know who got their PhDs are now 40, don't have a man, no kids, and they like, man, fuck this job. So what's going to sustain a woman up until the point where she's 75, 65, whatever?
I feel you, and that's why I brought this up, because this is indeed a movement of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, women basically saying, like, we're divesting. We're not dealing with anything that
Yeah. So if they're divesting, I don't think, again, if you're divesting away from what you talking about, just societal norms, everything you just said.
Yeah.
Okay, family, all of these sorts of things.
No,
right?
they're divesting away from anything that doesn't uphold or support the image of Black women or honor the image of Black women.
I think that's pretty selfish.
So basically, like,
Yeah, it is.
like a Kevin Samuels.
I was gonna bring up Kevin Samuels.
I think that's kind of like inspiration in a way for these types of movements, is that, you know, you have men on podcast, on radio,
Right.
and I think Black women get it the worst in these scenarios. Like,
I agree. I can see
think
what you're saying.
other
Yeah.
women can go on the internet and watch their men talking about them the way
but
Black women get to witness our men talking about us.
Okay, I agree with what you're saying.
All right.
But also, do those other races talk about their men the way the Black women talk about us?
Here
I
go
don't
Juan
think-
with accountability.
I do not think they do so publicly.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah. I don't. Do they? I don't know.
I'm
Because
telling you.
listen, I don't follow these pages.
Right.
I don't follow pages of people that, you know, aren't really particularly Black.
Right.
So I don't see. I'm not following like women's pages and hearing them talking about white men.
Right.
I hear white women talk about men, but probably not in the sense that we do.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, the feminist movement was created by white women,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, Black women joined into this whole movement. Black women are, I believe, I read this. Black women are the number one most educated women. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So this education, and I'm quoting Kevin Samuels on this, the education took the place of the man in a woman's life, because she felt if she had a degree that she didn't need, that independence, she didn't need to have a man. So
Is that what happened? Because that's like the scenario when you ask what happened first, the chicken or the egg. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying there is some accountability on, I believe, the Black man's part, because obviously,
because we didn't just decide to separate from our men, just all willy nilly.
So it started in
Like-
1964 under Lyndon B. Johnson, and he instituted the welfare program, which incentivized women to be able to say, all right, well, I don't want a man in the house, because if a man is in the house, I can't get these benefits from the government, right?
Why would a woman do that instead of have a man?
Because the man may not be on his A game. So again, that's where accountability comes in. If you qualify for welfare, or if you with a woman and y'all not married to begin with, then you leave room for the government to come in and take your role. So there's some accountability there.
And what I was listening to someone, and they was telling me that even when that Welfare Act came into play, when they did that in white communities, is because the employment rate was very low.
Yeah.
So when they gave that assistance out, once they received that assistance, then the employment rate went back up, and the women got off of it. What happened in the Black community?
Absolutely, it was for white people first. Yep.
Yeah. What happened in the Black community is the men started getting jobs, and the employment rate started to rise again, but the women still they didn't get off the assistance because they enjoyed that independence of not having to be under anybody. But then that's where that feminist movement came in. We powerful, we strong,
because we can take care of ourselves.
We can take care of ourselves. So if it created being independent, in my opinion, is a masculine type of energy in a sense when it comes to family. So if you got two masculine energies, it's never going to work. It's just going to clash. So that's why you want to have high violent.
Once a person figures out that they don't need you, it changes everything.
Right. And that's in any situation.
And the dynamic of marriage or relationships for years was based on need.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The relationship today is not based on need anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so trying to sustain a relationship now that's not based on need, it makes it more difficult because you don't need them.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm
that,
saying?
that's
So you
true.
don't need them in a sense to provide for you. You
Right.
don't need them in a sense to survive.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Survival.
it makes
Our
it
grandparents needed, my great grandmother probably needed a man to survive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
well, she didn't again, that's prior to like the feminist movement really
yeah.
running rampant here, in the US and again, I think over time women have evolved. And I think that evolution is good. I mean, women are more educated; they make more money. That's a good thing. But not being able to necessarily understand or recognize the value in the man that you're dating is the problem, right? Because that's what was lost, I think, over time. The other thing is this: women who have amassed, a lot of money, a lot of education, who seem to be more dominant or have more masculine energy, they don't want to necessarily settle for the beta male. They still want the masculine man.
They want the masculine man.
That goes back to what Juan said about button heads. It's
So
like,
with this divestment movement, what a lot of black men interpret it is women, looking outside of black men for love. So they interpret it as, so there was that young lady, I believe her name is Lauren Smith Fields. I want to say her name because, she went on a date with a guy she met off of a dating site. He was white and she ended up dead. You heard about that?
I heard about that.
Everybody
Yeah.
heard about
No,
that.
I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? They ended up I guess they said they found drugs in her system, but the whole case was kind of sketchy because, when the family got to the body, she was bleeding, so it appeared that something more possibly happened. But again, a lot of black men that I follow on this subject, and again, this is how I was even introduced to this topic of divestment, because they're like, these black women are divesting from black men, and look what's happening. So that's how they interpret it, that we don't want to date black men. And I've been actually, when I was on Facebook, I was added to a couple groups that was like for black women who were seeking out like white men or non-black men to date. So
Go ahead, Dave.
I mean, for somebody to just say that they're gonna date outside the race because an entire race of people are bad, like to say, oh, well, I'm gonna just try white men because all black men are.
It's because they've had bad experience.
Yeah, but you got to kind of look at things based on the individual, right? So you might have a white guy that'll chop you up and kill you, but you have a black dude that'll bust your head too. So at the end of the day, I try not to look at things in terms of the collective and base things based off of a person's individuality, because I don't want to run the risk of becoming racist or prejudiced against a whole group of people who might not be deserving of that. There's always going to be people within those groups who don't necessarily fit that description, so to speak. So I think it's a very immature and possibly even closed-minded way of viewing things. If that's a woman's reason for divesting from an entire race of men. Yeah.
Have you guys ever been in a point in your dating life where you were like, I'm done with black women?
No.
Hell no.
No. That's
Hell
nice
no.
to hear.
No. But that don't mean I wouldn't sleep with a white woman or an Asian woman or anybody else.
Right. But
I'm just
but on that thing where you said when I was talking about earlier about rules, I think a lot of women are divesting because we're not black men. We're not playing by the rules that we didn't create. We didn't create a lot of these things that we're supposed to be. So we tell y'all, we tell women what we want, but if we don't follow the rules, we automatically get, pushed to the side. We are not the head of our households. If we're not religious, now we got quote unquote white Jesus is the head of our house. But religion only matters to a person who believes in certain religions. So if you have a man, he can be doing everything for you and treat you the best in life. But women start to put that religion above the man and said, okay.
But that religion teaches them that. It's God, husband, kids.
God, husband, wife, then the kids. The kids belong to the wife belongs to the husband belongs to God. We report up. My boy Kevin Samuels, said that one.
Lord.
Shout out to Kevin Samuels.
Hey, that's my boy. But
okay, I got you.
We tell women what we want.
You do.
And Y'all be like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. You've been raised since a kid by whoever, probably the women in your lives to tell you this how stuff's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Dad, I don't know if Dad necessarily ever came and said, this is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
That's a good point.
yeah.
Very good point.
What about, and if you don't mind me getting personal, because I know you are close with your father, right? What were those conversations like growing up?
Oh, we didn't talk about anything like that.
Oh, man.
And, I think that is part of that generation too. I don't know if your parents talk to you about these types of things, like relationship things. I think my mom was more focused on security. And I think for me, because my mom wasn't happily married, I kind of resented that. I resented the idea of security in a man.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going to find security with myself.
Right.
Because I'm not going to be with somebody that I'm not happy with.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that
agree.
was like the dynamic that I grew up seeing. My father would be like, you make sure whatever man come into your life got as much as you have. You know what I'm saying? That's basically his conversation.
No,
Like I said, with my mom, when I was growing up, she wasn't happily married. She made a sacrifice to stay in a situation so that her kids had
Security.
the best of everything.
Yeah.
And we did have the best of everything. So much love and support to her for that because,
When nothing in the Bible says,
I wouldn't do that.
well, nothing in the Bible says you got to be happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
That's facts. It does not.
Well,
say
I think we especially in this new generation, they think that happiness comes from, again, somewhere external to them. They think that, if I got to be with this type of man or drive this type of car or whatever to be happy. And it's really in here. It's all about perspective. My niece is a junior in high school right now. Her father lives in Illinois. So I'm somewhat of a male figure in her life. And I straight up told her, because I asked her, I said, well, what do you want out of life? Do you want to be married? Do you want to have kids? And she said, I'm not thinking about none of that. I just want to go to school. I want to do this, that. And I said, hey, listen, you about to go to a university in a few years. That's going to be the one time where you around a bunch of guys who share similar values. You don't have to put on no makeup. As soon as you step outside your dorm, they're going to be right there.
Right.
And I think the problem is that people her age are getting pushed to prioritize other things over family, and they don't realize that you can do these things in tandem with one another. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's where you should be trying to find your mate or open to it. This one girl who watches our kids every other Friday named Ariana, she's a white young girl, very brilliant girl or whatever. She told me most of her friends, 22, 23, already married.
Yeah.
Right.
And they still got careers.
Yeah. You definitely can be.
So white women, if you talk about like the feminist movement, they might have been pushing it. They might have started it. They might have been preaching it, but they didn't live by
They were
ideology.
like, if I'm gonna work, I need to make as much as these men do.
Because
if I'm gonna work.
But it goes back to Juan said
but
about
we got through into working like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And that's all we do is work.
It goes back to what Juan said earlier about, he mentioned like primary socialization, which it comes from the family. It comes from the household. It comes from the previous generation, the mindset, the behavior, the culture that's being passed down from person to person. So it don't matter what type of ideology out there in the world comes into play. Whatever you being taught at home, that's going to win.
Right.
That's important. That's the reason why it's important to have those conversations with kids when they 8, 9, 10, whatever. Right. Don't paint this picture to them that marriage is perfect. Talk to them about things and,
There's this song. It's by Lucas Graham, 7 years old. You ever heard that? Once I was 7 years old.
Look at you, girl. You cultured. I mean, we're diverse.
Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that melody.
Yeah.
So in the song, he goes from 7 years old and then 11 years old. And he said, at 11 years old, his daddy said, find a woman that could, And I'm like, at 11 years old?
Right.
But that's cultural.
Yeah.
Because at 11 years old, nobody's talking to me about marriage or finding a type of woman or a man or nothing like that. All I have is my imagination. Yeah. So all I'm looking at is movies or whatever, what things could possibly be. But I'm just thinking about that in terms of what you're saying, these women being young or talking to people at such a young age about these things. And like that never occurred to me to have those conversations at that time.
Yeah.
Now I was going to say that's programming of your subconscious mind. That's why even everything you see with these commercials from the COVID commercials and how they market it, these videos, these music videos, these artists, they are conditioned to program your subconscious mind. So a lot of people behave a certain way. They don't even understand why they behave in that way. Because, we already know the subconscious mind is part of the mind that works without you making it work. You have your conscious mind. That's you knowing what you're doing. And your subconscious mind is everything you put inside your mind. So you have
everything you see.
Yeah, everything you see. So you have to counteract the garbage that they force you to see. So a lot of the, like you said, things you learn things from movies or, certain things. And that's a huge problem because of the things that we get shown to us. Yeah, so that's huge.
It also, I think the way that you counter that, what Juan is talking about, it's almost like letting the stuff that comes into your subconscious through propaganda control how you move, your decision making on a day to day. Like I remember when Trump, won the first term or whatever, and everybody I knew hated him, right? So for me, I was like, shit, I got to go find out. It got to be another side to this story, because if I don't find out the other side, then I'm gonna let the propaganda win. I'm gonna let the programming win. So I think anytime you come up against that, you have to sort of put whatever you feel inclined to believe to the test.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, it's like whatever I start to notice is the agenda, that's what I start to research against.
Right.
When I start to notice everybody on one accord about something, I'm like, wait a damn minute.
Yeah.
We all hate them.
It's so blatant these days.
Even with the Ukraine stuff.
It?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to kind of look at it that way. So yeah.
Yeah. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about just programming and all of that stuff. I was watching this one podcast or listening to it, and one gentleman said, when you make decisions, you don't make them for who you are in the moment.
Right.
You try to consider yourself as a community of yous over a span of time. So you're not making decisions for Detroit Red today. You're making decisions for Detroit Red 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, because you almost have to think as a 20-year-old, based on this decision I make, based on how I prioritize things, Kathy, who's 50 years old, is going to thank the hell out of me for that.
Right.
And most people don't do that because they feel like, oh, I need to live in the present and I don't want to give up this and that. And this, and it's like life is about trade-offs. There's no perfect solutions. You got to be willing to weigh these things out, analyze, negotiate, make concessions, and make your decisions accordingly.
And I think that's how Kanye always thought. Kanye always said, I'm 36 now. What's going to be happening in 10 years? I'm 10 years ahead of time.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? So whatever you do now, because I mean, does time really exist? Are we aging, or is our thought aging and it's making us age physically? So what if we were going in reverse? What if we were started at 100, like Benjamin Button?
Benjamin Button, yeah.
What if we started 100 and went back the opposite way? I mean, I don't know. It's just ideas that popping in my mind. Because the only time that matters is right now.
Ooh.
That's fact.
Right fucking now. You know, all the stuff in the past, we have these memories, but
memories are even questionable. Have you ever heard people's research on that? The way that we remember things? Well, I don't know it.
You know it. You got all this other stuff you've been educating us on.
But you should research that, because they're basically saying like your memories are shit.
Right.
Like your memories.
Because you know what happens? You don't know what was real or wasn't, what was real or fake.
Right.
You know?
So they're like, you really can't trust your memories.
Right.
So like he said, the only moment is right now.
Right. Present. Yeah. Because you can become a slave to your memories too. And that's not a good thing. I mean.
Hell no.
Yeah. I know people all the time that still harp on stuff from like 20 years ago. And I'm like, damn.
Facts.
You're like, you need to let that go.
Yeah.
And then the story change a little bit every time.
Or they too worried about
You'll
the future.
start to see them add a little bit more to it.
Right.
It becomes a little bit more dramatic.
Yep.
It becomes a little bit more hurtful.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You become even more of a victim. Yeah. And that's, we run the risk of thinking that, the world revolves around us. Everybody else is a foil or a supporting character in our story. And it's like, other people got their own stories. They the lead character in their story. The world don't revolve around us. So you run the risk of that if you just harp on things in a way that sort of, I guess, I don't know, reinforces this victimhood mentality or narrative. Yeah.
Have you guys ever noted how scripted people are on the internet? I can make a post and 100%. I can almost predict the comments and what they will be.
Programming.
It's like absurd. You know how you see how I ask a lot of questions or I'll put a lot of stuff out there? Those are literally social experiments to me to see if I'm right in what I know that people are already doing.
I knew you was doing that.
And I'd be like 100% right. And it's like, this is so weird that I know exactly what people will say. And even if people don't respond, they respond in my DM and it's still on script.
Yeah.
People are never off script. We are literally being programmed, and that shit is scary.
I'm gonna tell the world something about Detroit Red. She's always 5 steps ahead. So if she's asking a question and it seems to be some sort of superficial, she's like 5 layers deeper.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Yes. And you don't know you're being used until later. I have a conversation like, oh, that's why you was doing that? You know, so
right.
Yeah. So I'm like always testing the matrix. Like, let me see. Let me see.
I'm similar in that aspect.
Yeah.
I ask a lot of different questions and people they get so angry, you know, they get so mad about the questions, but the whole thing, I just want people to think.
What be so crazy is that they say the same thing.
Right.
It's like you don't realize you're saying the same thing that everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize that you're saying what you've been programmed to say. Like if I say something about Megan Thee Stallion twerking ass, somebody's gonna say you're policing black women's bodies.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You know
you already know what they're gonna say.
You already know somebody's gonna say that, and it's just like
it's politically correct.
What is this?
I'm about to prove a point right now, and I might be wrong. Right, I'm gonna ask if y'all don't mind telling me what is like y'all educational background. Have y'all both been to college?
I have some college. I have an associate's degree in liberal arts.
See, the reason why
no college for me.
The reason why I can tell Juan hasn't been is because of how brilliant and how open-minded he is. You know, I went to college, but I left out of college more intellectually handicapped than I was before going in.
Right.
Because when you're taking these social science and humanities classes like women's studies, feminism, you already know what the professor's belief is on the topic the first day of class. And I think a professor is supposed to unpack these things, show you what the pros and cons are on each side, teach you how to think for yourself and reach your own conclusion rather than telling you what to think.
Right.
And that's how I knew. When I first heard you talk, I said, no, he wasn't indoctrinated by the same stuff the kids are being indoctrinated with.
Right.
And, middle school, college. And even now in adult life through media and this, that, and the third. So, and that's why I believe you brilliant too to me. But I think college can sometimes corrupt people because most of my friends who graduated, they don't have a clue. They think one way and they can't even open it up to something else. So that's why,
And if you try to challenge them, they're going to throw out that degree.
Because they can't see nothing else. They're going to get emotional. Right. That's like the Trump card, but it don't mean nothing.
But you wrong.
But it don't mean nothing.
The thing with me, I had to, it wasn't hard for me to, like you said, be open to new ideas because I didn't have to let nothing go. Church, like religions, I was in and out. You know, I went through my different phases with religion, but my mind is still open to new ideas. And then, you know, once I started looking at how energy works, the universe works, I started believing in the laws of attraction, and I had people in my life, oh, that's the devil, you know. And what was happening, I was going to church, and I would sit there in the church, and the pastor would tell me, not tell me, would speak to everybody, but he was saying the same things that I was telling people, but because I wasn't a pastor, my information was invalid, but we talking about the same thing.
Putting this guy up on a pedestal because I get you.
Right. So, like I say, I feel like it's a blessing to be able to have a clean palate because a lot of people, they don't have that. They so caught up in what they were taught as a kid. Like we were taught to drink milk. Milk is good for us. And now we're grown. Milk is not good for us.
At all. Nope.
No, stuff like that. So...
Yeah,
I still, I definitely feel what you guys are saying. I still see the value in college, but I think that you need to learn to teach kids that it's a tool.
Before they get there.
Exactly.
If you let college shape who your kid is going to be, then watch out.
Then they going to come home so goddamn liberal and
oh my God,
saying the craziest stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be
trying to tear the world up, man.
The way I raised you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to teach them how to think freely, and then say, like, you're going to this college because you're going to use this education as a tool to move up in your respective careers or whatever. But this doesn't make you who you are. This isn't shaping who you are at your core. You know what I'm saying? You have to kind of teach them that. So I'm still pro, for it, if that's what
I appreciate you saying that, because I know people was going to start thinking like, he against college. And no, it's not.
I know that you're not. Yeah. But I think it's important for kids to know that it's a tool and not to let it shape them. Because again, you have people there who they are following an agenda. You know what I'm saying? They are, they could be possibly shaping them to think in a way that's not going to be really conducive to anything.
Oh, it's highly liberal. So, that's just what it is, especially in the social science, humanities. You would be hard pressed to find a conservative or somebody who's going to be forthcoming with their conservative views in college. Right. That's just what it is. So,
yeah. And my daughter, she just went to college. And now that she's there and she's studying, and the information that I be telling her, now she called me back. She say, "Oh no, I want to be the next revolutionary. Like, I read this stuff in class and X, Y, and Z." So, you like if you only let them have one set of information, it's going to program them to be a certain way, and that's just what it is, and that's what it is from even outside of college. If a person only in the streets, they only go be programmed to think how the streets think.
That's facts.
Yeah. So if it's law enforcement, they into cops, they go be forced to think like law enforcement. If they doctors, they go think like doctors. You know what I mean? So they're not going to understand the other perspective,
the nuances.
Right off.
Yep. That's facts.
And if you're me and you've done a little bit of everything, I feel like I've lived several lives already in this life.
You one of the most interesting people I ever had a conversation with, because it's not too much that you don't know about. And not only that, you've had several different career paths, which is which is impressive. You know what I'm saying? You need to pretty much list all these career paths out for people to know. She was a beautician. Right, she's a bartender, some other stuff I can't pronounce what you do on a day-to-day.
With nursing, I work in healthcare.
Yeah.
I worked with students before. I've been all over the place.
That's dope.
I've been trying to find myself since I got here.
Hey, that's what we all doing.
But that's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? Spread, get a little bit of experience in everything,
Yes. I don't regret any of it. I think it's all,
Right. Shaping who you've become today. Yeah. The moment I feel like I know everything, then what sense is there to even live anymore? I want to always feel like there's something I could be,
learning. Yeah. Learning is everything, to give you a new perspective on everything.
What's the biggest thing you guys have learned in these last couple years with everything that has been going on in the world? What is your takeaways from
the last 3 years that I felt like I was lied to growing up.
Same thing with me.
So now it's the unlearning phase.
It's hard because now you being truthful and standing firm in what you believe in becomes offensive to
everyone else.
Yeah.
So then with that, there's loss because you're going to lose relationships.
I cut off every fucking body.
That's what I'm saying, Juan.
I cut off every fucking body. People that I've known all my life, and if they was here, they would tell you if the energy doesn't line up, I'll tell you and I'll let you know. And if you continue to do the same thing, I cut everybody. I don't give a fuck if I know you 30 years. You out of there. And I don't care. Brothers, friends, I don't give a fuck who it is.
What's your sign again, Juan?
I'm a Leo.
Yeah. That's what's up.
When is your birthday exactly?
August 13th.
I was about to say it's August something.
13th.
The August Leos are a little more harsh.
Yeah.
My mom's August 14th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking around because I already know that people will use you for your energy.
Yeah.
I have had a lot of different things go the wrong way because of my loyalty.
Yeah.
Being loyal because I always been a loyal person.
Yeah.
So my loyalty has got me in so many fucking binds that no, I'm past that shit now.
So you got to set these boundaries to somewhere protect yourself from yourself.
Yeah.
Protect myself.
Because I think a big thing with Leos a lot of the time, or even people in general, is just trying to prove that you're a good person.
Right.
And eventually you get to a point where you're like, I am a good person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't feel like you have to prove it anymore. Right. I used to be the type of person that the extra mile, what about the extra 10 miles?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be willing to go that far, for people that would never go that far for me. And I knew it. But I would say, but that's just not who they are. But this is who I am. So I'm just going to continue to do this. But you can't continue to do this.
I do all the fucking work.
Yeah.
I always would do all the work.
Yeah,
Nobody else is fucking working. I do all the work.
Yeah.
And then that's not a problem though.
Right.
I came across a motivational speaker, Les Brown. And Les Brown is one of the people that got me on the path of the laws of attraction as far as watching his content. And he said in one of his quotes, like, do more than what you get paid to do. So so then you'll make more.
Shoot.
You'll make more money in response because people will appreciate it.
Yeah.
And don't quote me on that, but it's in that
I get what
paraphrase,
you're
I'm
saying.
paraphrasing. So I always did way more than what I was supposed to do, but if the people that you are dealing with don't understand
The mentality, man.
if they have a certain mentality, they're going to use you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. And that's one thing we don't want to do. And I cut everybody off.
Yeah. I mean, you if I got to choose between you and me, I'm going to choose me every single time.
Right.
Every single time.
Yeah, because now you taking away from my cup, and my cup need to be good enough for my wife, my kids. I don't want to be bringing that energy to them. So
Yeah.
That was something I definitely had to learn.
Yeah. We had, but that's the blessing. We learn stuff over time.
Yeah.
We get to a certain point and we're lucky. I don't know if we're lucky, blessed, or this was our destiny, but we're here now. And a lot of people don't make it to this point to be able to see the ups and downs and all the falls.
Yeah, it's like if you would have knew all this in your 20s, because a lot of people say, if I'd have knew this then, I would have saved myself. But then what would 30 be if you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it makes those stages of life even more meaningful, I think.
Yeah, make it interesting.
Well, what we definitely know for sure is hindsight is 20 motherfucking 20. When you're looking back, you see everything clearly. When you're looking forward, you just doing what you got to do. But anyways, I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. We are at our time. I am sure we've been running our mouths.
Yeah.
But I thank y'all so much for joining me today. This is the first episode. So we call this season 1, episode 1. It is That Deep. That's the name of the podcast. And thank y'all for coming through.
Shoot, thank you. And you done set a precedent with this. Your next episodes after this, all your fans going to be like, hey, we like this, but you need to get Juan and Dave back on here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we set the tone. Yeah.
Juan and Dave can come back anytime they want.
Cool.
Let's get it.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much again. And we going to do it again.
No, thank you.
And again and again and again.
Let's go.
All right.